Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobes show, live from Worthing on the 6th of November 2019. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Today in the studio, lovely Georgie. Georgie is my daughter and she's back from New Zealand. We made a film this morning, didn't we?
We did, yeah. We had a little chin wag.
We had a good old chinwag. That'll be going out tomorrow, so you won't have seen that. Now, we may cover some of the same old ground, but, you know, that doesn't matter. Because this is the Vobes show, and the other thing was the Bold Explorer.
Oh, this is true, yeah.
Yeah, so all good. So the first thing I need to know is, can you see us? Can you hear us? The lip sync may be a bit out, because I haven't managed to work out how to sort that out, so you'll just have to put up with a little bit of drift, as they say. But that will be good. One of Georgie's jobs is to keep an eye on the comments.
Ooh, okay.
She didn't know that.
I didn't. I've got responsibilities.
Yes, big
It's exciting.
responsibility. And let us know what people are saying.
Okay.
So, so you might not understand all of their names because that's the
Yes.
names of YouTube, their YouTube accounts.
I see, okay.
But so I know that D for Bricks is Daniel. So we'll say hello to Daniel. And Daniel very kindly has sent me this here, which is in the background, Rant of the Day.
Ooh.
He's very...
It's empty.
It is empty. Well, there's no rant today because
I
we're
see.
talking about you and New Zealand and you're the guest on the show.
I'm glad my name's not up there then.
Yeah, otherwise we'd be ranting at Julia. So, can you hear us all right? Hi, Georgie. Where did that year go?
It
Says
went quick, didn't it?
Linda Kane. I know.
Yeah, time's always a surprise.
So that's it. Some people
Checking in from the Philippines.
people are texting in already.
What time is it? What time? Oh, no, I can't read. I'm so tired. I'm sorry. It doesn't say Philippines at all.
Where is
I don't
that?
know why I'm in charge of this.
Oh, right. Oh, from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Oh, yes. Barbara. That's
Sorry,
Charles.
Barbara.
Barbara Charles from Philadelphia in the jolly old US of A. Hello to you. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Yes, Georgie flew yesterday.
Yes.
Well, started one day.
Started Monday.
Monday. Her time.
New Zealand time.
And then went back in
I
time
went back in time.
and arrived just in Tuesday morning. But you were
That's
30 hours in transit.
30 hours of travelling, yes.
And last night you managed to get about 8 hours.
I think maybe longer.
Do
I had a
you?
little nap and then we had some food and then, I think I had about 10 hours.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you were all right this morning, but, you know, as the day wears on, it's still chill. That
Well,
jet lag.
It's, what time? I think it's about 9 in the morning in New Zealand.
Oh, right,
the
yeah.
moment.
9 on Wednesday morning.
When
No, Thursday morning, because it's Wednesday today, because
it
we're
is
doing
Wednesday,
the show.
yeah, Thursday morning, yeah. Can't
Yeah,
keep up.
I know. So it's very weird. So we're going to be talking about what Georgie's been up to over the last 12, 13 months, whatever it is. And then the comparisons of UK and New Zealand. And if anybody's got any questions, we would love to hear them. But just
away.
wait for the questions to be asked because we can very easily miss because they go up, you see. So let's just see who's out there. We've got Daniel, as I said. We've got Andrew Norris. We've got Robert Croser. Hello, Robert. Hello, Andrew. Linda Kane, who we heard just now. Andy Frieson, beg your pardon. We've got Barbara Charles. We've got Richard Suggett, the Veg Grower podcast. We've got Dean Coop. Hello to you, Dean. We've got Lara, who says hello. We've got Dave Ford, receiving you loud and clear in Dorset. Jolly good. Have you got rain in Dorset? It's just started to rain here in Worthing. It's just lashing it down. Robert says, water tank, strange name for Richard's... Is that what it... Water tank? Oh, hang on, just a moment, just so you know who we are.
The veg growers asked, how's the water tank? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I can see that now.
Yes, it's just gone up.
do
We've got this little overlay, so you know who it is. You may wonder why we've got different surnames, but we're not going to answer that today. So that's who we are. It may say, I don't know what it's... Why are you talking about water tank? Is that what it says on YouTube? It shouldn't do. I did change it, but... Oh, you're asking about the water tank problem that I had with Mr. Suggett. That's all been solved, thanks very much. Thanks to Mr. Suggett. That's all now nicely organised. And in the spring, I shall get Mr. Suggett in and we will reduce the water tank and find more space for when issues arrive. I had a bit of a leak, you see.
Oh.
Yeah, into the water tank. I know. I got stuck there. I couldn't go anywhere, so I had to go in the water tank. It was a nice swim, though.
It's the best place to go, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Not the septic tank. No. So that's all good. Lady in the Shed, that's Vicky Allen. Hello, Vicky. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming along. Scott Luce, hello Richard and Georgie. Welcome home, says Scott Luce. He's in Lancaster in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Pennsylvania? Philadelphia. One of the two. I always get the two mixed up. One's a state and one's a town or a place or a city. A city. I think Pennsylvania is the state and... No, what did I say? Yeah. Philadelphia.
That's what you said, yeah.
Whatever it was.
Let's just go with the Philippines. That's what I seem to choose.
Yes, yeah, the Philippines.
The Philippines.
Completely wrong continent, but never mind. All good fun. So there we are. What else have we got there? James, Malcolm, Edmonds, hello, Vobes and George. Hang on, let me just see if I can favour
I was going to say,
that.
We can only see half the...
Yeah, we can only see half the comments. Now we can see the whole comments. I can get rid of that now. We don't need that because people know who we are. Lady in the Sheds, are you going to do a food and drinks tasting tonight? Unfortunately, we just had to scoff our food down, which was...
In 10 minutes.
What did we have?
We had bangers.
Bangers.
Chips and beans.
And beads.
Good old classic.
And everything was a bit running around because you've been away today.
I've been away, picked up my car today.
Georgie's
from a friend's house.
You left your car a year ago.
I did, yeah.
On somebody's drive.
I did.
And it's just basically been sat there for a year. There was this whole thing about, will it start? Will it be all right? Is it going to go?
And it did.
And it did.
Got me back home. It was a 45-minute drive away or so that was good. And I managed to choose rush hour to drive in, which was a bit silly, but
yes.
It's
you
fine.
Managed to insure it?
It's insured, yep. And then MOT's sorting tomorrow. So
yeah.
Fingers crossed nothing.
Does anybody want to buy a car?
Anybody want to buy a Peugeot 206? Selling a little Peugeot 206.
Because Georgie's only here for 2 weeks and then she's going to be heading back to New Zealand. And you just really don't need the car.
No,
it's a bit of. It must have been a bit of a liability because you were worrying about it.
Yeah, and where to store it, and it needed to come off the drive that it was on, and I didn't really fancy paying for somewhere to store it.
Yeah, but it was nice that a friend could do that for a bit. I'm just going to get you to come just this side of Nat, Nicola, so you're a bit more in frame. There we go. And then that way people can get to see you a bit more because they see enough of me. Robert Croser says it's running okay, actually, Richard. Been returned last week. Sometimes,
What?
I don't know. Sometimes you read the comments and you think, hang on, that's referring to something and I can't remember what.
What you said.
Yeah. Sorry, Robert. Laura Riddle says, are you doing what's in the box tonight? Well, we were thinking about doing it, but we ran out of time,
didn't we?
Yeah.
I had something to put in the box, didn't I?
Yeah. You know what it is, don't you?
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. That's the whole thing you have to guess, right?
Yeah, they have to guess.
Oh, okay. Well,
anyway, it doesn't overly matter. We're actually going to be talking to Georgie about New Zealand. So just going through some of the early comments and questions before we get into the main things. Why don't you buy it, Richard? Or have you sorted your car? Well, my car... There's a whole saga there waiting for the Naked Englishman podcast tomorrow morning.
That should be on here.
It should be the rant of the day.
Cars.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you is I've paid £300. It came back, and then there was another fault.
A new fault,
let me tell you, that I didn't have before, and I only taken it from the garage, which is less than 30 seconds driving, and now they're saying, well... That's nothing to do with us.
It's a coincidence.
Like, wait a minute. I've just got the car home and there's this other fault now. What do you mean? You must have knocked something. Oh, no. It'll have to be a separate job, which I'll have to pay for. So that's probably another couple £100. So it's turned into a bit of a nightmare, this car. But then the car is getting old. So, but I didn't want to buy... I'm thinking of buying a camper van.
Oh.
Or a van
exciting.
it's not really a camper van. It's a van I camp in. A camp-in van.
Camp-in van. So still very van-esque.
So like a van, like a transit.
But with a bed in it.
But, yeah, with a Z bed that you pull out. Ooh. Do you know, I saw, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I saw a portable wood-burning stove.
Oh, that's cute.
That you can take when you go camping.
Right.
Quite big, about this sort of big.
Where does the smoke go?
Up the chimney.
Oh, you got a chimney with it too.
Yeah, it's like a portable stove. It's like this long, so you have a little oven and you've got all the stuff. It's like a mini Essie.
It's cute.
And you'd stick it outside and you'd cook. The only thing is, of course, you don't get the heat from it if you're inside the van. But you could cook on it with logs, which would be nice. But I was just going to have a Calagas thing with a what's it?
Sounds quite high maintenance.
Yeah, it does sound a bit. But, you know, I'll talk about it later. We're getting lots of interesting comments. Andy Dalglish says, "Hi, Georgie.
Hello.
My sister lives in Oamaru on the South Island. Do you know that?
I know where that is. I don't know how you say it. I'm really...
No.
There's a lot of...
Want to visit her in 2020. What are the buses' coaches like for travelling? Also, how easy is it to get overnight digs when you're travelling?"
Oh, that's a very good question. Buses and coaches, I'm not 100% sure because I kind of drive everywhere. It's quite easy to drive around. I did buy a car. That was like one of my first things I did there because there isn't really any trains or anything like that. So, and the only buses I really know of are the ones in Queenstown, but getting around, I'm not too sure. But there must be because it's you do kind of need.
It's very touristy friendly. You told me.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's a lot of help, and then staying an overnight digs. Yeah, that's like digs. Yeah, it's pretty easy. There's quite a lot of places to stay. Lots of accommodation. Yeah,
a lot of accommodation. Yeah. Jeff Kellison, he says the French are getting revenge for the Mers de Khyber. Are they? I don't know what you mean. I'm sure they are. I'm sure those beastie French. Oh, blimey. Bless them. Whatever they're doing, they shouldn't be doing it. Did you see any hobbits?
Yeah, that's I saw that. That made me chuckle. No hobbits. No hobbits. Sorry.
So let's just find out from George. Just hold your questions for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just have a quick chat to George, and then you can fire some questions at her. Okay, that sounds like a fair deal. So, a year ago, more or less, you went over on your own. We do have a bit of this conversation in tomorrow's show, but
I think my friend.
Well, I was going to say you went over on your own with another girlfriend of the same age, and you did a lot of pre-planning, didn't you? Because I was really worried. There you were, going to the other side of the world. What is a parent supposed to think? And it's like, don't worry, Dad, it'll be fine. And you hadn't really done a lot of travelling before that.
No, I've only really done holidays and just sort of weeks here. And
yeah, you'd gone to Scotland.
Oh, yeah, I went to Scotland.
How does New Zealand compare with Scotland?
I kind of see it as Scotland, but on steroids. So it's just kind of like, it's very similar. It reminds me of a lot. They're very similar. So you drive around and there's lots of lakes and lots of mountains and quite like empty and vast, where I sort of did more of the Isle of Skye in Scotland. So it's a bit more scenic than the main part. But yeah.
Yeah. But
Scotland on steroids.
Scotland on steroids. That sounds great. So you flew over there and you managed to get accommodation, and you'll hear that in tomorrow's video, really. So what do you do now when you're there? Because when we left you were going to go travelling, and you were sort of going to take all sorts of weird jobs and just experience the experience,
yes,
as it were.
It's true.
But
it's not really worked out that way.
No.
The plan was to fly into Queenstown and then get a job there for a bit, and then maybe go to Wellington and get a job and just kind of jump around. But no, I've pretty much stayed in Queenstown. Flew to Queenstown and settled a little bit.
So you sort of worked there for a while, and then you did a bit of travelling, and then you come back and use that as your base.
That's it, yeah. So I think it just kind of worked out a little easier to do it that way. And then I had a month off and drove to the top pretty much, and then back down to the top of the North Island, and then drove all the way back down in a month.
Is it joined?
No,
there is
the ferry.
Oh right,
yeah.
Is it long journey?
No, it's not too long.
Is it like going to France?
How long does it take to get to France?
Well, an hour or two.
Similar
sort of thing.
Yeah, it's not too far.
That's nice. And you had to drive on ferry, presumably.
Yeah, drove on, drove off.
Yeah, did you? Drove on, pushed it off. That would be a bit bizarre, wouldn't it? Okay. And are the two islands very similar?
No, actually, no. They're not. There's the South Island's very mountainous and very scenic, and there's lots of lakes around, lots of snow, and it's quite vast. And then the North Island's kind of tropical.
Is it?
In a way, like it's kind of got a tropical feel to it, where it's quite warm and it's just the kind of, there's less mountains and the vegetation looks more kind of tropical.
Because that's why people go and film there, don't they? Because there's a whole load of different landscapes, pretty much between the two islands, as I understand it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and how big? I can't picture now how big New Zealand is compared to, say, the UK.
It's pretty much the same size.
So like driving to Scotland. It's like driving one of the islands or both islands.
Both islands, yeah.
Oh right, so it is quite small then.
It is, yeah. It's small, but the population's so much less than here.
So much less, right?
I think I was looking at it with Billy, and we saw that Worthing's population is something like 100,000, and Queenstown's 15.
15? Blimey.
Yeah.
So you get to know people quite easily,
yeah.
You know, the locals and the people who live there.
Yeah, it's a very kind of villagey feel in the fact that everyone knows each other and everyone knows each other's business, and you bump into each other in that community sense. Yeah.
But spacious.
But spacious, and so much to do, so many things around that you can do and crack on with.
And presumably the air is nice and clean, is it?
Yes, yeah. I haven't noticed, I haven't come here and kind of gone, oh, it feels different, but...
that's interesting. So our air here it's not immediately going,
no.
Oh God, the smog.
No.
Apart from perhaps on a road that's busy, you know, when sometimes you get, you know, somebody chucking out more smoke than they should be. That's interesting. So there we are. And were you at any point thinking, I don't like this, I want to come home?
No.
No point at all.
Not really.
You just embraced it immediately.
I mean, I'm quite a relaxed person. I don't really, like, for example, my flight was delayed by 3 hours, my first one, and I almost to come here, and I almost missed my connecting flight. And I was chatting to the guy I was sat next to, and he said, "Oh, you're very calm. Like, I'd be really worried about it." And I think just having that it's quite easy to just chill, just chill and get on with it, and it's so nice.
That is amazing.
I don't think you could really go there and be like. Oh.
So when you're working, and you know you're working in a bar, and you're
full time.
Are you stressed?
The job's generally a bit stressful. Yeah, working in a bar.
But you can go outside, and
I have moments where I will go outside the front of the pub and clear some glasses or plates or whatever, and I can see just the view, and right outside where I work there's the lake. I can't remember the name. I think it's like Watatupu or something like that.
Watatupu?
I can't remember.
What a lovely name.
Biggest lake in Queenstown, and then there's the Remarkables Mountain just there as well. So I'll just take a moment, look at it and go, wow, life's not that bad.
I was hoping to show some of the pictures that you sent me, but due to the complicated nature of the fact that the operating system, the way that we use the system to broadcast this has changed, I still haven't worked out how to resize the pictures, so I can't. But in tomorrow's video on the Board Explorer, we've showed some of Georgie's pictures with the Remarkables and Queenstown and various bits and pieces, so do look at that. That would be great. So that's really good. There was another question that was just wafting through my mind, but it has completely gone. Oh, something to do with the stress levels. Because did you go smoking and gave up there?
No, I didn't. I quit smoking maybe 6 months before I went, and I still haven't touched one since. But a lot of people I've spoken to quit before they went, and then when they got to Queenstown, started smoking again.
Oh, is it because it's quite social?
It's
is it?
Very
so is there
social.
A lot of people smoking?
It's a very young crowd. They're there backpacking and figuring out what they're doing with their lives, and it's very social. Quite like a kind of uni culture to it, where it's like very social with parties and drinking and that kind of thing.
So sex, drugs, and rock and roll type thing.
Kind of.
And now you bought a car, which we mentioned earlier. Now you told me an interesting fact about insurance.
Oh yeah, it's not legal.
So you don't
legally,
need to
you don't have to have car insurance.
What a bizarre thing.
Yeah,
And is that because there's so few people on the roads?
I think so, yeah. I assume...
But if you hit somebody, you've obviously got to work out who's going to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah, the roads are very easy to drive out there.
Are they nicely tarmacked and not rough and rugged?
No, I wouldn't say. No, I wouldn't say. Some of them are quite rough and rugged, but I think it's just there's not many cars.
Right.
There's not many places to go, so reading signs is easy.
Because I remember you showed me this car. It's got a big car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a big car.
A big car.
Compared to my Peugeot 206, yeah, it is quite a big
Which
car.
you then said, my Peugeot's a bit like a go-kart. Mind you, it did sound a bit like a go-kart. It hadn't been driven for a year.
So I've got a Toyota Caldina.
Right, I've no idea.
That means anything to anyone, but...
big mirrors.
Big
presumably.
Mirrors, old sunroof. It's got like a bar on the front.
A bar?
Yeah.
Like pour a pint out and...
Yeah, drink and drive, that's fine. No?
Is it lovely? But what I was worried about, because you showed me a shot of it with all the mountains, and I got this impression that you could drive for like 100 miles and see nobody and be stuck in the desert if it conked out.
Yeah, sometimes there is quite a while until you see something when you're driving. You just see a lot of sheep.
A lot of sheep?
A lot of sheep.
Oh, yes, a lot of sheep in New Zealand.
A
lot of New Zealand lamb. So, how interesting. Right, we're going to open up the questions. So if you've got some questions, ladies and gentlemen, for the lovely George, now is the time to start asking them. We'll just go back and see. Richard, you need that camper van sooner rather than later. That's very true, Daniel. Mark Selwood says, hi, everyone. Hi, Richard and his special guest, his daughter, lovely Georgie, which is great. Stephen Blakey, hi, guys. Hello to you, Stephen. At work, says Mark, he's struggling to watch the show. Oh, I'm so soggy.
That's nice though. He's at work and he's watching.
Yeah, working and watching. That's what I call skiving. Robert Croser says, glad she stopped smoking 3 years clean himself.
Oh, well done,
Robert. Yes. Lady in the Shed says, New Zealanders are not keen on the Aussies. Did you find any of that? Did you find the competition between the two?
I think my view of the Aussies is maybe slightly biased in working in a pub, so I've seen a lot of stag do's and a lot of big groups of guys coming in to drink Australia. And coming on holiday. So I can see why they would maybe not be keen, but I've only had that kind of side of them. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when you go back, you said you might go to Australia and do a bit of travelling around there as well.
Yeah, I think so. I've heard a lot of good things from people about it, so got to have a little look.
You've got to go and see the kangaroos and the koalas and the
spiders and the snakes.
Yeah, so
and the
now we had a
scorpions.
conversation about this, didn't we? I was asking, is there some weird things in New Zealand, like the poisonous spiders that lurk in the bowl of the toilet?
No.
Is there
nothing.
Sort of weird beasts that roam around that can bite you and eat you, or no? So completely safe.
There's not anything that I've come across. There's lots of birds, a lot of birds and a lot of farm animals. But bug-wise, I hardly ever see anything.
And no wildebeest with horns that will come and, spike you in the night. No. Oh, well, that's marvellous. I just have to ask. Judith says, hi, Richard. Lovely to see Georgie and hear about New Zealand. Thank you very much. Anne Osborne, are things more expensive in New Zealand? Thank you, Anne. Good question.
Yes. Yeah, sure. I think, especially in Queenstown, rent's very expensive. I think it's very touristy and there's lots of hotels popping up at the moment. Old buildings being knocked down, they're chucking hotels in. So I think that kind of boosts all the prices up.
You said that once you're recognised as an actual local, people give you a discount.
Yeah, you kind of almost can get a discount on most things. So all the excursions that you can do around, they do Locals Week. So you just prove that you are a local by having either like a work payslip or a proof of address. Get discount on things. Or just drinks. If you go to certain bars, they go, oh yeah, I know who you are. Locals price. Even on the Indian takeaway.
Oh,
give
right.
you a little locals price.
What's the food like there? Is there a New Zealand cuisine?
Not that I've found in where I am. We do something at work called cheese rolls, which is
nice.
That is very strange. So when we brought it out and it was new, I was like, oh, these sound exciting. And it is a slice of bread with like a melted cheese and onion, and it's just rolled up And I remember saying to everyone, why are we doing these? Because it just seems so basic.
Right.
And then it turns out it's like quite a traditional
Kiwi
thing.
Oh, right.
But yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just lots of lamb.
Lots of lamb. More sheep than people, says Robert Croser.
Yeah, I think there was a fact. I can't remember if it's still true now, but I swear it was something like there was 2 sheep to every person.
Oh, right.
Or something like that, yeah.
Lady in the Shed, Vicky says that Australia has all the spiders. Yeah, we seem to have been, people have been complaining fairly recently of spiders coming in because we've had an influx of species of spiders that have come here, I guess, travelling with either people or food or whatever, and they're coming in the winter because obviously it's slightly warmer. Stephen Blakey says, my best man from my wedding in 1986 lives in New Zealand now. Ah, how lovely.
That's a good choice.
What else have we got? Excuse me. Oh, Lady in the Shed says no TV licence in New Zealand. Do you watch TV?
No, not really.
Not really?
No, I think...
too busy or just...
Partly too busy, and also I think just the generation, we just kind of use Netflix and...
Right, so you're on your phone or you've got TVs, but they're connected to internet.
Yeah.
Is the internet good over there?
Yeah, internet's fine over there, yeah. No problems.
Is there anything... Sorry, I've got to blow my nose because a bit of a cold. Is there anything over there that you think, oh, they're more advanced in this than we are here?
I feel like they're actually more behind in a lot of things.
Are they?
So, for example, contactless.
They don't do it.
Probably about 20% of places have paywave or contactless.
Oh, okay. So technology is slightly
behind.
They've still got the iPhone 2, have they? Is that what you're saying? Over there.
Still got the old chunky.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nokia.
Is Bad Taste director Peter Jackson a god over there?
Oh, yeah.
Did he do The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
Peter Jackson.
I think so.
Black Widows, says Linda Kane.
Oh yeah, in Australia.
In Australia. Oh, okay. Sir Peter Jackson. New sub to the channel. Great stuff, says HW100. HW100.
Name.
Lovely, good name. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is my lovely daughter who is just back from New Zealand. There we are. Look, little bit of dink.
Oh, it's gone.
It's all very exciting. I can cut to the. I forgot. I can cut to the.
Oh, the side cam.
Yes, that's the webcam. We can wave to you from the webcam at the side of the studio, where you see more of the studio.
Just to freshen it up a little bit.
Yeah, than you really want to. So we get rid of that. I seem to have been glowing a bit red. I think this cold is.
It's not been.
It's
sunny
not warm in here,
is
it? No, it's not sunny.
Almost match your.
Yes, it's like,
Sorry,
like a bit Christmassy at the moment. A bit Christmassy, ladies and gentlemen. So that's all good. Does Georgie think that she'll stay in New Zealand or come back to the UK one day? Says Kevin Hall. That's a question that I asked you.
I think as soon as you picked me up from the airport, I kind of said that I wasn't going to come back. Not anytime soon. No, it seems so different here coming back. I was saying everything just feels very squished and compact. And
I guess, it must be very strange because you're coming back to your family and there's always, the family is a bit of a staid thing, isn't it? There's dear old dad with his potty little internet show and he's going around doing what, because whoever you are, your dad and family are always a generation above.
Right.
How many friends have you still got here that you were likely to see and keep in touch with?
Yeah, quite a few actually. There's not probably not as much.
Are they happening?
Are they happening? What does that mean?
Happening. Are they? I'm just thinking you're in a very social environment with lots of people who obviously go snowboarding and water skiing and fish boat jumping, whatever that thing is you just wait for tomorrow's video, you'll hear about that. And there are obviously a lot of extreme sports enthusiasts that you're mixing with and party people. Yeah, and travellers. Yeah. And then your friends set from here who either at school or from previous work or whatever, it must be very different.
It is very different. I think because people are here and you kind of think of it as like the real world. So people are here and they're working and they have...
Yeah, we do have to work.
No, but I mean like the work's a bit more of like life.
Yes.
than just like a means to go off and do other things.
So do you think that you're like having a dream world? Is it a fantasy
kind
world?
of more of like you're in a bubble. You feel like you're in a bubble where everyone's just doing things all the time, and you don't go home and just relax at home. You just you go out and you see each other, and you find something to go and do. You find a hike to go on, or there's a discount of doing some, like the other day I did like a zip line trek thing through down the mountain.
Gosh.
Just because it was cheap. But I feel like here everyone's kind of like, we'll just go to work, we'll go home, and then there's almost less time. Everything's a bit more inconvenient. Whereas there it's like, do you want to go do this? Yep. Off you go.
Right. Because, so it's a sort of can do, will do.
Yeah. And I guess you don't really have as much responsibility stopping.
Is there many families?
No, I mean, there's families that will come on holiday, that will come for a week or a couple of weeks.
So it's very much a touristy, young sort of happening place.
In Queenstown, yeah.
In Queenstown. And not like back here where everyone's nose to the grindstone, have a little moment of pleasure, and it's like, I've enjoyed myself. I better go back to work and labour hard again because I mustn't enjoy myself too much. Whereas clearly you're working, but you're also, relaxed.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But especially in the winter when the mountain's open to go snowboarding and skiing.
Oh, yes, because winter doesn't close it. Whereas here, winter sort of closes everything down.
Yeah.
It opens up a whole new thing.
A whole completely different aspect. And you start work at 6 p.m, but then you've got the whole day to go up the mountain with friends and
It's
fun.
extraordinary.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Kevin Hall. Oh, does Georgie think? So you're going to go back. Will you spend Christmas over there, Georgie?
Yes.
Yeah. You did. Now, last Christmas you were there. What was that like?
It was different. It was peculiar. So, we still kind of ate the traditional English food because a lot of the people there are English, and a lot of people.
Because the Queen is the head of state, isn't she, over there? So, there's a lot of English traditions that come with it.
We had the whole roast turkey, roast potatoes, a full what's it called? Roast.
Yeah. Thanks. With stuffing.
With stuffing and everything, and it's
Brussels sprouts.
like 35 degrees outside.
35 degrees.
You get a tan on Christmas Day.
That's most bizarre.
And then
it's hard to conceive that, really.
Yeah, and then after you've had your food, everyone went to the beach by the lake. And now they're sunbathing or in inflatables in the.
And are they in Christmas attire?
Yeah, some people are. Yeah, it's different.
So it's like somebody might be in a bikini with a little bit of white and red.
Yeah.
Or in their speedos with a sort of little beard. Father Christmas beard. I don't know. Just my imagination now is going a little bit too bad. False widows here. Dead ringer for Billy. I'm not quite what that's about. My best mate travelled to Oz and never came back. He loved it so much. Yeah. I think this is the problem. People go off there and they see parts of the world and think, do you know what? Actually, it's quite oppressive in the UK. Which is why I daren't leave, because I may not come back. And then what will all these lovely people do? Stevie Blake says, my best man Alan said he won't come back. Gosh.
Don't blame him.
Andrew Norris, he says, I live in Croatia, but yearn to be in England once more. It's interesting because now Andrew's a fascinating bloke. He came from around the Reading area, if I remember rightly, in Surrey, which is very quite a expensive area, and a commuter belt for London. And he's gone to Croatia, and he does these incredible vlogs, and he's been a filmmaker for a long time. My nose is getting more bunged up as we go. And you can see a real sort of 1940s way of life in Croatia, with people still using ponies and ploughs to plough the fields, and, and all that. And it looks absolutely idyllic. To me, it looks like an idyllic way, and people making bread and putting them in proper bread ovens and all of that, and it looks lovely. And there he is saying, I want to get back to the UK. And George is saying, oh, this place is so miserable and all tense up. We've got to go out to New Zealand. It is funny how different people want different things. I think that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, just a bit of a ranty. That was a little bit of a rant there. Thanks, Andrew, for that. What else? Linda Kane says, false widows, live here in the UK, they bite. Oh, this is talking about spiders. Robert says, I have relatives that went over there in the 60s. £10 poms. Fair dues. Fair dinkum.
Lady in the Shed says, more relaxed way of living in New Zealand. It's very true.
Yeah,
and I think people were a lot more friendly. I don't know if it's just because there's less people there, but...
So you get to see more of each other.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of notice... I think that's that's what I think is missing from the UK now, is we're becoming so overpopulated, and also with a lot of migrant lifestyles and different cultures coming in, you're not got the same shared interests anymore. And also, if you haven't got the same language, it becomes difficult to say, hello, Bert, what are you up to then down there in the shed? If they look at you blankly and go, what?
I want to know what Bert's doing down there in the shed.
Yeah, what is Bert? Hey,
What's
Bert,
he doing?
what are you doing down in that shed? You making more of that scrumpy cider, are you? Is that what it is? Oh, I wonder if I can have a taste of that then. When it's ready, of course. I don't want it before, because it won't be nice, will it? Know what you mean? Do you? Do you know what I mean? If you do, write it on a postcard with a big attachment of Scrumpy Jack. Much obliged, Brian.
Bert.
Oh, Bert. I beg your pardon. It was Bert, was it? Bloody
He's
Bert.
never going to give you cider if you don't know his name.
He keeps changing his name, he does. What a swizzle he is. Oh, dear. Dean Cooper says, Fiona Cooper is watching. Hello, Fiona. But her Google has messed up on her phone. Nothing is working. YouTube, etc. I'm so sorry, Fiona, for that. What a shame. Blame Google. They're probably spying on you. Hi, Richard and Georgie. Lovely to see you both, says Nikki Jess. Hello, Nikki. Michael Merritt says, hello, everybody. Finally managed to catch a live show. Lovely. Thank you so much for coming on a live show. We did a dead show last week. I can tell you, it was we were just corpsing all the way through it. Oh, it was hilarious. Hilarious. No, I didn't do a show last week. That's why.
Oh.
Look at her. She's laughing her socks off. Lady in the Shed, I like the sound of that on the beach at Christmas. Well, yes, I mean, it's nice if you can have the white Christmas and if you can get it all very Dickensian, but how they transported some of that. So, you know, do they get at Christmas time do they play the Christmas Carol at Christmas time? Dickens. And do they put the big film on?
No, nothing
they don't
like
do
that,
nothing
no.
like that. They haven't got time for the Sound of Music or The Great Escape.
But they did. I did think that people who live that side of the world from, you know,
England and whatever.
No, just from birth, when they watched the films, like English films and American films of Christmas.
Yes.
It must be very strange to see people all wrapped up in it snowing, and
yes,
that's not what they have.
Yes,
I don't think I've ever seen a film that represents Christmas.
It's a curious thing because Christmas couldn't always have been like that. If in New Zealand, that sort of English tradition must have been carted over there in some way. They must have done something like, you know, oh, it's Jesus' birthday today. Oh, well, good elf, mate. Down the old... That's Australians, I know, but I don't know how the New Zealand speak. Dave Ford says, would you say New Zealand is a safer place to live than the UK? Does New Zealand town have no-go areas at night like Worthing? The no-go area in Worthing is here.
Yeah, it definitely has a more safer feel.
Do you have yobs and you know, are they the tourists?
They can be the tourists because they're there for short term and they, you know,
just partying.
They're just partying and they don't feel that they can get in trouble. So there is sometimes there's been like violence. There's been a couple of people I know that have been attacked and things like that. But no one locks their doors in Queenstown.
Nobody locks their doors.
Nobody locks their doors. It's very safe in that kind of aspect. Everyone kind of looks after each other, but there is every now and again there's
so when
something.
you did go travel, because you did a little bit of travelling,
yeah.
What were the places like? Were they very different to Queenstown?
Yeah, depending on where you go, every place is slightly a different vibe. Like there's a place called Raglan, which is on the North Island. Raglan. It's on the North Island, and it's a kind of a bit of like a surfer town.
Oh, okay. So another party place.
Yeah, but a bit more relaxed. But they're just
more relaxed than Queenstown.
No, I guess it's less busy and
right.
All this kind of surfer and skateboarding. But at the same time, it had a feel that it was less safe and
right.
maybe a little bit dodgy.
Is that
only
because they
spending
were
a
like
couple of
what, more
days there.
male orientated?
Yeah, maybe, or it might have just been where we'd stayed on
Very
it.
sexist thing for me to say there, just saying that males are yobs.
It might have been because we stayed on a campsite and a car flew off the road into the campsite.
Into the campsite,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, where we were staying, and it just kind of felt a little bit
rough and ready.
rough, but it was nice.
Gosh.
Nice place.
Oh, well, that's fascinating. Veggrow says, wife was, but wife. Don't you mean Amanda? Richard, wife and I were both offered a job in New Zealand when the in-laws looked to move there. I said no, and so no one moved. Richard, you killjoy. They would have had a lovely time out there. Wife, your wife, you mean Amanda? It's so old-fashioned, isn't it? Wife and I, we went to here and we had a lovely time. We didn't leave Cleethorpes once. Oh, why do you want to go to one of them very nice sunny places when you can stand here miserable rain on beach with Kiss Me Quick hat that no one ever comes near because you smell and have got a string vest. Sorry. Julia usually tells me to shut up at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yes. She's usually swiftly shutting the flappy mouth is what she's doing. Mark Selwood says, I wonder why Georgie never watches Dad's live shows. Is it an unwritten rule never to embarrass her dad? Well, first, there's a generation difference. And secondly, she's got a life. And that's not to say that you guys have, that's an excuse for you lot to stop watching the Vobes show. But, I think family, they see enough of their parent. That's why she's gone to the other side of the world.
Trying to get away.
Now
he's following me on the internet.
Gosh. Dear, oh dear. Lady in the Shed says, when I work in Marks and Spencer's, the New Zealand people I serve love to chat for ages. They are friendly people.
They're very friendly people. Yeah, you have a chat with them for a small amount, and then the next thing you're friends. Like,
gosh,
every time you see them, they chat to you. Yeah.
Do people back in the day when your granny, my mum, just to clarify that, what was I going to say?
So about being friendly and chatty.
Yes,
yeah?
My mum would, back in the day, in the sort of in I suppose the early 60s, just when neighbours. Not the TV programme, when neighbours would pop round and sort of, open the door and just lean in and go. My mum used to lean in next door and just go, ooh,
Gooey.
Yeah, ooh, and we'd just sort of come in and they go, oh, hi, Jean, yeah, do come in and blah, blah, blah. And whereas, I guess in very close-knit places in England that happens. Does that happen where people can just sort of just stroll in?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because you don't lock the doors.
Just don't lock the doors yet. No, I mean if you're.
There you are, sitting in the bath with a tequila sunshine, and whatever it is, watching some TV, Netflix, something, and someone just goes, "Hey, George, how you doing, boy?" In an
American
accent, as they do. Claire Leach. Hello, Claire. She says, George, did you support New Zealand in the Rugby World Cup?
I did, yeah. So I managed the Rugby World Cup game of All Blacks versus England, and it was the busiest night we've had in a very long time. I was there. I don't really mind who wins.
Who won?
All Blacks. All Blacks. No, we won. England won.
Oh, England won. Oh,
then we got to the final and we fluffed it, and South Africa won.
Oh, was that the same? Oh, that was in South Africa. Was that in South Africa?
It was being played in Tokyo, I think. So all the games were being played.
Yeah, it's all very complicated.
In Japan.
I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not a sports.
Follow it.
Don't follow sports. So
you supported.
I'll support. I don't really support any of them. Yes, I'll just go. Yes, good game.
They did that stuff with the ball and it worked well.
I remember once going on a job and I was sitting there with this driver bloke. On a filming job, and he was asking me, he said, oh, did you watch the match last night? And I said, no, I'm not really into sports. And he said, oh, okay. He said, I suppose when you're not into sports, the key thing to say is that, what did he say? The goalie was all right, but just needed to be get a bigger bloke in goal. And so he gave me this phrase, I can't even remember it. And he says that's the way you can bluff your way and say, see the goal? Yeah, it was great. If only they had a bigger bloke in goal and they did such and such, and everyone would believe that you knew what you're talking about. Of course, now I've muffed it.
No,
I've muffed it now. Never mind. James Malcolm Edmonds says, that's what I thought. Oh, thank you. Claire Leach done that. I did think everyone would know who Amanda was, LOL. Plus, I love wearing a string vest. Actually, a string vest. I know it's a bit old-fashioned. I haven't got one, just so you know. But they are actually a good design because of the string, they hold the heat in between that string vest and the layer, your shirt.
Oh.
And it was actually a very good way. And if you haven't got a vest and you've got a ball of string, you could make one. Yeah. I believe that you could also make a string vest out of chicken wire. Don't recommend it. So it's never a bad thing. Vicky said you sounded like Artwright from Open All Hours. Did I? Yes, that's true. What else have we got up there? Any good ones you can see? Andy Dalgleish, reading a great book about New Zealand, Penguins Under the Porch by David Harborne. Funny information and very interesting. Never knew that place that you went to, Omora, or whatever, is the world's steampunk headquarters until I read this. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You'll be able to go back and say,
tell everyone.
Yeah, steampunk headquarters. My dad's mum, says the lovely Julia, used to do that too when entering someone's house. Oh, what goes? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, my mum it was so funny when they used to do that because we just like watch her going, what is that weird noise?
Of just...
Yeah, she wouldn't knock on the door. She would just open the door and lean through and just go, ooh. and whoever it was would just
started from.
And of course, sometimes as kids we were dragged along. And she'd go, oh, I've just got to pop into Margaret's house. And they go, oh, God. And then we would be embarrassed because we were just of a different generation.
You were going to say that she would do it and then you would do it.
No, we weren't. We would just stand there and she would just, she didn't knock. And that felt really alien to us. Didn't knock. She would just open the door, back door to the kitchen, never the front door. She'd go around the back. Oh, just a minute. And she'd toddle and we'd be there looking, oh, no. And she'd just lean in and go, woo! Margaret! Yeah. Oh, hello, Jane. What do you want? Oh, come and help yourself. What is some sugar? There's some sugar in there. Oh, I've got lots of sugar. Oh, more sugar than we need to know. Oh, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Oh, like some sausages. Oh, we got some nice sausages. Anyway, suddenly going to a Punch and Judy routine there. Andy Friesen says, my mum still does. Oh, that's the way to do it. Mark, Betty Polly. Oh.
It's like an owl and a what are they called? Parrot.
That's it.
One.
Yeah. Exactly like that, says the lovely Julia. All together now, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh.
Cooey.
That sounded a bit like there was interference on the line.
Very well.
Crackly radio, that was. Crackly radio. You know Crackly radio? Rice Krispies. Crackly radio. Lady in the Shed says, in this weather, the veg grower is a bit chilly. Probably is. He's probably shrivelled. But we don't want to... Yeah. Put them nice warm jacket, poor bugger. String vest while down the... Have you actually got a string vest, Mr. Suggett? We want pictures now. We want pictures. We need to get a community on the Vobes show so people could actually send in a picture and then I could show it up. That would be great, so people could just...
Press your button and
because I would love to do competition things, or say, right, let's have a look at everybody's front door. Who's got red front doors? And then people go out with their phones, take a picture of their front door, and then they send them in and we bung them up.
Oh.
Who's got the smartest front door? We could all vote. Vote. We could all vote. That would be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be interactive.
Fun. Who's got the best door?
My mum used to call out cooey. There we are.
Cooey.
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 Cooey. Dean Cooper says, Richard, did you go on a pub walk from Fiona's book? You mentioned her in a podcast a few days ago. The lovely Julie. Yes, I think it's the video that's out today. Hook's Way. That was a walk that we did from it was slightly modified because the walk was a bit longer, but it was threatening rain, and we had little baby Joseph, and we didn't want his poor little head to get splattered with rainwater. Acid rain, as it happens.
Andrew said, my mother-in-law always says it's only me when she phones, which is funny because I'm sure when she phones you can see. I'm guessing it's on a mobile phone and not your.
But in the old days, you didn't know who it was.
It's only me.
Only me. Only who? Only me. Oh, hello, me. No, wait a minute. I didn't phone anybody. What are you talking about? Yes, it's funny how people say that. Only me. Only me.
Like you'd expect to answer the phone and there'd be a group of people.
Yeah.
No, it's only me.
And it's the other thing was in the old days when they used to have a phone call, you'd ring them up, and you'd answer, and you'd tell them the number that they've just dialed.
Oh, really?
You'd go 4271. Hello.
Would it not be easier to go Richard speaking?
Yeah, I mean, but it was very actually. The phone would ring, and you'd pick it up, and you go 4976. Hello, and it's like, yeah, I know that. I've just dialed that number. That's Roger, is that you? 4276. Hello. Oh, hello, 4276. How are you doing? It's 3188 here. Hello, 3188. Are you going to meet up with 9274 this evening? No, 9274 couldn't make it. I'm afraid 3288 and me. It's a bit complicated. That. After a while. Look, we've nearly done an hour.
Oh, wow, that went quick.
I know, it does go quickly. Our 10 minutes
again.
That 10-minute video we did this morning seemed ages when we were recording it.
Oh, did it?
Did it not?
It flew by for me, sorry.
And this one's flown by even more.
Yeah, quick.
Wow. Any last-minute questions? We've got 6 minutes left. My mother-in-law always says it's own. Oh, we read that. When she phones, yes, Julia Hart is laughing her socks off. Linda Kane says string vests, I'm off. I haven't got a string vest. I'm not wearing one. Thank you very much. Veg Grower says might need to integrate Skype to get the photos. We need to work out somebody who's got technical issues could do that. That would be lovely. How about really close-up photos of household things that we have to guess what they are? Yes, we could do the old what is it, and you reveal things. That would be good. Someone's got to do that, of course. Maybe we could get you guys to send in a batch of perhaps 10 pictures, close-up. You have to close up, a semi-close-up, and then the full thing.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's almost if you don't get it on the first go,
you get a slight pull out, and then the thing. And maybe you guys, people could each week somebody is going to present their 10 objects. That would fill an hour, wouldn't it? Means I don't have to do. No, I don't have to do the work then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why
Sit back and relax.
Yes.
And
well, I just work out how to get the pictures on. But that's it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun for people to get up to. It's all about interaction on this show. Dean Cooper says, that's great. I'll check it out after the show. Not quite sure what that is. Mr. Great Plum, Matthew. Hello to you, Matthew. Lovely to see you there. We have a home phone that only spam calls ring.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
really?
still get that in New Zealand. I still get calls from Leeds or Manchester.
Do you get calls from someone saying, hello, I understand you had an accident recently?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you?
I just don't answer them anymore. As soon as I see it's from the UK,
Oh, right. Yeah. So every time I've been ringing you, it's like...
spam.
Spam.
Dad again.
Oh,
spam.
Blimey. Do I want any of that nonsense? Had an accident. I love playing up with them, though. I always tell them that. I said, yes. They'd say, I understand you've had an accident. I said, yes, I have. And it's usually a robot to begin with, a recorded thing. And then you get through to somebody who's, funny enough, got a completely different accent from some other part of the world, going, oh, I understand you've had an accident then, have you? I said, yes. I don't know how you know, but I'm lying here now and half my leg is chopped off and the car is just this second driving away. I'll give you the number plate. It's B47103. No, B47103. Just write it down.
Call an ambulance.
Yeah, call an ambulance. I'm in pain. I don't know how did you know I'd had an accident? Are you in the car? Did you do it? Have you just run me over? You bastard. I'll have you. I love doing that. I did one where I think I said somebody was dying, and then they died, and And the poor people listening, you know, it was. I think if they have the guts to ring me up, then I'm going to give us. Mr. Suggett has seen me do that, haven't you, Mr. Suggett? Kevin Hall says, Richard, when my grandmother. I have trouble reading. When my grandfather took my mum and dad to Hook's Way back in the 1960s, Mum wanted to use the loo, so she asked the landlord where it was, and he says, acres of trees, pick one. Yes, Hook's Way, there's a pub called the Royal Oak, which is where we went and had a nice meal, the lovely Julia and I, and little Joseph. Oh my goodness, Joseph can eat. He had the shepherd's pie, he had the chili con carne.
He's a growing boy, though, isn't he?
Jam roly-poly he had, and 2 flagons of cider from Brian in the shed.
Brett.
Was it
Brett?
Brett?
It wasn't Brian.
No,
it wasn't Brett.
Hello,
Burke.
Burke. Do you remember Burke?
Feed me.
Feed me. From Trapdoor.
Don't you open that
Trapdoor.
That was a great...
You loved it.
It's like claymation, wasn't it, as well? Yeah. It was great, that.
Yeah. Who did the voiceover of that? Was it Willie Rushton?
I thought you were going to say Willy Wonka for a second.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So there we go. That was, good story. Thanks, Kevin. That's very nice. When my home phone goes, I know it's one of 2 people and it's never for me, says Richard Suggett. Oh. We have a home only for spam. George, you're such a natural in front of the camera.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
When Georgie was 11...
long time.
She came and in this room, but sitting over that side of the room, she said the immortal words which I recorded and played in my podcast for years and years and years, and that was...
Oh, you want me to do it? I'm so sorry. Dean Cooper said that I have a bit of jet lag, and he's right. I'm a little bit behind.
Which is why, just
give it a big cue. I'll tell it to you tomorrow. I just can't feel like let's do it again. Yeah.
So I had a podcast, and in this room, at 11 years old, Georgie lived across the road when my ex and I broke up, and the kids, I wanted to do something with the kids, and Georgie got involved with my podcast right from the beginning, and we did this show. And I needed to record like a little opener to tell you what you were hearing. And a little jingle. And Georgie recorded a thing, and I've used it ever since. And some of you will have heard it before, and some of you probably haven't. And I haven't got it to hand to play in, but I have the real thing. And it went like this.
You're listening to Richard Vobes.
And it was so cute, because at 11...
At 11, yeah.
At 11, it was marvellous. And then you got a brace.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
And then it was a bit...
I had a bit of a lesbian. I remember we listened to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you did useless facts.
Did you? Useless facts.
With the brace. She doesn't wear the brace now, ladies and gentlemen. Which is nice. Struggle forever. Hello, humans of interacting nature. Hello, alien of a viewing prospect. Nigel Sadler says, Matthew is in a phone box. He's behind you. Oh, not surprised. And the Growing Copper says, yes, it was very funny. Nicky Jess says, will be lovely if Richard goes to New Zealand with Georgie at Christmas. Will be amazing for you. Now, we're coming to the end of the show now, but it would be nice to come and visit. But 30 hours of flying.
Oh, it's fine. Just watch countless films and sleep. It's worth it.
But it's worth it.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Lots of hikes.
It would be good. It would be good. So George is beautiful. Georgie is beautiful. Says HW100.
Thank you, HW100.
I'm glad it's HW100 and not WD40. Could have had that name. That's a good name, WD40. But HW. Wonder what HW stands for. Harry Watson, who's 100
if that's
years.
Right.
That would be amazing. Harry Watson of 100 years. Hello, I'm Harry Watson. I'm very old. Oh dear. Goodbye, dear gentle. That's lusted. Graham Whittington says, Lens Art. Yes. No, that's his name. Sorry. Richard, can you record some of those phone calls replies?
Yes.
Then I can play them the next time I get a spam. Yes, that's very true. I should do that. Yeah. No, I do. I just enjoy it. If I'm in the right frame of mind, which is, you know, all the time, I will just wind them up. And just there's lots of stories I could tell you about some of the most extreme ones that I've done. One, I think they were trying to sell me double glazing or something like that, and I just said, "Oh, I don't know how you got my phone, how you got this number, because this is the bomb squad. You really shouldn't have got this number." And about, I'm very sorry. I said, but I'm 30 foot down a hole looking at an old unexploded mine, and I'm trying to decipher it, and I've got a red wire and a blue wire. Now, which one should I cut? Whereupon the blue hung up. And I had another one. Oh yeah, I had one once who was trying to sell me power. You know, one of these utility people, and they were going, "Hi mate," or "Hey," you know, they always want to be pally and talk to you. And go, "Hi mate, how you doing? All right?" They go, "Yes."
What do you want?
What do you want? He says, "Oh, well, you know, we can lower your price and all of this electricity. We give you cheaper electricity and cheaper gas." I said, "I don't use electricity and gas." He said, "What?" I said, "I don't use electricity and gas." "What do you mean you don't use electricity and gas then?" I said, "We use clockwork. Everything's clockwork here." He says, "You're joking me." I said, "No, everything here is clockwork. We make oranges." And he went, "What?" Because he had no idea what the reference was. I said that we make these very specialist clockwork oranges. We make about 2 a week. They're very expensive, and that's all we need. It's just a clockwork mechanism. He says, "You're pulling my leg, aren't you?" I said, "Well, we only sell these clockwork oranges." And he said, "Oh, all right then. All right, mate. All right, fair enough, mate."
Didn't know
quite how to take me. And then he said, "Do you know anybody who would want some cheap power?" I said, "I don't know. No, not most people around here just use clockwork mechanisms now. We've got some nice Hornby train sets that we wind up." "Oh yeah, no, that's what he said." He said, "No, they said, are you winding me up?" Clockwork. He didn't know he'd done a joke. Oh, never mind. Anyway.
What was it you or was it Nigel that...
Oh, it was Nigel. Definitely Nigel. Wasn't me. No.
It was very funny.
Oh, in that case, it was me.
Someone rang up to sell conservatories.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't remember the story, but basically they went through the whole thing and pretty much ordered everything they wanted. Everything they wanted to go, "Oh, yeah, so I just need to take your address." He went, "Oh, yeah, it's 4th floor." And then...
That's right. They were trying to they wanted selling him a conservatory.
Yeah.
And he said, they said, like, and so he said, "Oh, actually, that would be very nice. I'm very interested in a conservatory." He says, "Oh, we'll tell you the spec." He says, "Oh, that one sounds like..." And it went, as you say, went on for ages. And then eventually he said, "Okay, we'll take your address." And he said, "Yeah, 1st floor, flat 2, such and such and such and such." And the bloke took the address and didn't really get it. 1st floor, yeah, I'm going to have a conservatory. Bolt it on the side. Because most conservatories don't come with floors, do they?
No, we don't need those.
Wah! Bit of a shame. So, yeah. So I always like to muck about with those sort of things.
Mucking a bit. It
was a computer repair one that made out where you were working for MI5. Oh, yes, that's right. One. That's right. Richard was it was here. Mr. Suggett was here. And somebody rang me up and I said I was working for MI5. I can't remember exactly now what I said. Because I said something like... I was going to put them... I wanted to know their authorization code. So, yes, because it was like, yes, I'll put you through to that person. What's your authorization code? Because this is MI5, you know, to get clearance to get to speak to M. And then they hung up and all that. Anyway, thanks for a lovely show, says Andy. Yeah, gotta go. Thanks very much for reminding me about that. You've been watching us. There they are, the old Vobes. Kenobi. What's that for?
Good show. Good show. I was gonna...
That one and... Oh,
it's
and this one. It's not so easy as you think. Oh, it's gone. So there we are. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
Hopefully the lovely Julia will be in next week. You might even be here next week because Georgie's here for 2 weeks. Hoping to do some videos with the lovely Georgie.
Yes.
As well. But
get out and about.
In the meantime, nice to see you. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
Until next time, we have to go. So we will say arrivederci and bye for now. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Whee! Bing.